Hi, how are you today? I wanted to, have a little conversation, a little discussion about this opioid epidemic. And, it's pretty bad when the United States, the president has to, and the Department of Justice, they all have to weigh in on this stuff. I've never seen them do anything like that. I didn't see them do it on the first opioid epidemic, what I just sort of wanted to talk about that. Because for me, I saw some of the ravages of the first opioid epidemic. And now here, a few decades later, we have another opioid epidemic. And what I can tell you from what I know, from what I've seen, is that the first opioid epidemic was, I think, it was heroin. It was just heroin, using heroin, But I guess the difference with this opioid epidemic is that it's heroin, it's fentanyl, and the pharmaceutical companies all in it doing all kinds of stuff, oxycodone, whatever that is. Okay, so I don't know if that makes it more intense or whatever, but the thing is, I remember we would see, as a little girl, we would see back then, like in New York and Harlem, stuff like that. It seemed like the differences, I think, maybe, I haven't been to the certain cities where it's really hitting hard, so I'm not sure what that looks like. I have to be honest, I'm not sure what it looks like. Maybe it looks like the same thing, I'm not sure. But I remember you would see the people that were on the heroin, a lot of times, especially, they traveled in packs. Okay, I'm not talking about groups. Okay, they traveled in packs. Okay, and you could see, walking down 8th Avenue or 125th Street, you would see, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12, they're walking down the street. I don't know where they were going, but they'd be walking down the street. And then there would be that one person, and I'm going to say man, because I never saw a woman lagging behind, okay? There would be that one man lagging behind the rest of them, okay? But they were, sometimes they'd be nodding out. And the thing is, you would see that one person lagging behind, and they're walking, and I mean, they weren't walking fast, but it was like sometimes that person would, they would stop, and they would like be what do you call it? Nodding out. They would be nodding out, and sometimes they would get all the way down to the ground, okay? And my cousin, I don't know if she remembers this, but we used to sort of place bets, and not for money, but be like, I bet you a soda, he falls out. Well, I bet you a bag of chips. And the truth is, we never saw any of them fall out, okay? We never saw any of them fall out, okay? And, another experience where I lived, there was this family, okay? There was a family, and it was a mother and father and about four kids, maybe 5. And we would see them, okay, let's say we're outside on the stoop, we're jumping rope, or, playing tag or playing handball, whatever it was, doing something. And, let's say we see the mother and father and, let's say they're, kind of high or whatever, nodding out a little bit. I would always, like when I saw them coming, when I saw them, I always felt like the kids, I felt bad for them. I, as a young girl, I felt bad for them because I felt that they felt bad. And I felt like they would look at you to see if you were looking at them or something like that. And so I would not look at the mother or the father. If I saw them coming, I would, act like I don't see them. I would, keep playing my whatever. But then I would try and speak to the kids. Hi, just a little hi, that's all. Because that's what happened. And, in Harlem, I remember my aunt, because, I had a cousin that used drugs. And so these were, kids from, people that, like his friends, one of his friends may have been walking in that pack, walking, and then they stop and talk. And then a lot of them would sort of stop and talk to, the other people, because see, we were taught to respect everybody. Okay, they were on drugs. That doesn't mean you don't treat them like they're, below you or that they're not human. Okay, just because they're on those drugs. Okay, and I can remember good conversations. My aunt there, she's talking, we talking, and the thing is that these were not stupid people. These people were, some of them were professional people, some of them were musicians, some of them were actors and artists and things like that. And I remember one guy, we were standing there, I was standing there with my aunt, and he was telling us about, this things, with his acting career, whatever. And I can tell you, he was telling us some of the things he played in as extras and this and that, and some parts he had. And one of them, I know I had seen him, and I'm like, wow, how did he do that? But in the end, my aunt would always say, take care of yourself, be, this and that, So we didn't treat them like they were nothing or anything like that. We had respect for, and that's how we were raised, to have respect for everyone, okay? And so with that opioid epidemic back then, I remember I guess they came up with, to help them get off of it, they came up with methadone, something like that. And I can remember, being with my aunt, and we would see, these lines. Like, I remember the first time I saw these lines, it was a line, and, the people, you could tell that they were on the heroin. And they were lying, sometimes it was going around a corner. And I'm like, oh, Lucille, what are they doing? Why are they all lined up like that? And she told me that they were picking up their methadone. And and I don't know if they did that, like 2 times a week. And I guess they could just go and pick up their methadone. And, the thing is, you could always tell. See, that those opioids change the way you look. It changes. It changes, and a lot of people, you could see it. It changes their eyes. It changes the their muscles in their face, and I think it can even change their voice, and it can do all of these things, you know. And so, you know, I certainly feel for them, you know, getting on these opioids. And you know what makes it so bad with this epidemic is that the pharmaceutical companies played a big part in it. I can remember, you know, several years ago, I had surgery, right? And okay, they give me some medicine for the pain. I'm in the hospital. They give me some medicine for the pain. And so I threw it up. I got sick, like it made me sick, and I just threw it up. So the doctor prescribed something different, but what I found out was that the medicine that he had given me was opioid based. Okay, now you know, but I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, well, it's not heroin, you know. I don't know, you know. I didn't even, you know, opioid. So I just sort of kept that in mind, but I threw it up. My body rejected it. My body rejected it. Thank God, because I might have been one of those people addicted to opioids, okay? So what the doctor did was prescribe something else for me that was not opioid based, and I did fine. It helped my pain and everything. So, you know, but what if my body hadn't have rejected